Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited recording this little snippet for you that I am going to replace my current intro for all of my podcast episodes so that for those of you that have been around for a while, you don't get confused. And for those of you that are new, welcome. Welcome to a brand new chapter of the show. Now, if you've been here from the beginning, you'll know this podcast has always been around helping women to build powerful personal brands, hence the name becoming a powerhouse brand. But over time, I have realized that the work that we're really here to do on this podcast, in the work that I do, obviously, even my business name, everything that it is that I stand for, it goes so much deeper than building a personal brand. So, welcome to She Who Roars. And this is not about shouting the loudest or forcing your way to success or chasing any trends. This is about presence. This is about identity, trusting your intuition, and creating an impact that is felt long before you even say a word, because the work that you do is changing lives. So, this isn't goodbye to personal branding. This is an evolution of the podcast. This is a journey of coming home to who you truly are, expanding your identity, and stepping into the leader that you're here to become. So, whether you've been listening since day one of the show or you've only just found this space, thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful that you are part of this journey. And now let's dive into today's episode. Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode of Becoming a Powerhouse Brand. I have been really excited to record this episode because Sarah Braysher and I, who is going to be on as our guest today, we met by complete chance at a Christmas event, I think it was last year. And we just happened to sit next to each other. As with all of these things, you're always meant to sit next to the person you're meant to sit next to. And we got chatting and we just instantly clicked. And I think sometimes the universe puts you with people that you're just meant to have conversations with. And I'm really excited to have her on today's show because we are going to be talking about you finding your own way of doing your business, of bringing your own authentic self into what it is that you do, so you can create your own uncopyable business, brand, offer, whatever it is that you're doing. Now, before I dive in and take over this whole episode with me waffling, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be here.
I'm so happy to have you on the show today. Just for our listeners that maybe haven't heard of you before, could you just give us a bit of an insight into who you are and what you do?
Of course. So my name is Sarah Braysher. I am the owner of the activation method, the Soul Activation, and I have my own activation academy as well, which now teaches spiritual, intuitive, gifted entrepreneurs how to really tone into their own threads of their magic, their genius that makes them the only one on the planet who can do what they do in the way that they do it.
Yes, and this is so needed. And I think one thing I've seen a lot, particularly in the online space recently, is people not necessarily moving forward with an idea or feeling like their industry's oversaturated or they can't do this because someone else is doing it. And actually, there is enough out there for all of us, isn't there?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're so right that people are starting to maybe think they have to shout louder and they have to show up more, which can lead to burnout. I mean,
Yeah.
we're both mums as well. So we're trying to navigate, children that need us and home life as well. And we really don't need to shout louder to just become part of the problem. We can actually now really dig deeper into actually, do you know what? I've got these gifts and these magic that are so much more bigger and more expansive than just the certification and a qualification that a lot of people are leading with right now. And I think this is what really is starting to help people stand out from that noise and that oversaturation.
Yeah. And I think it's really listening and following your own intuition, isn't it? Which I know for some people it can be very easy. For other people, it can feel a bit more challenging to do that if they're not necessarily at that stage yet. But looking back on your own journey, because the work that you do is very soul led, it's very heart led, you're very intuitive with your gifts. But has it always been that way for you?
No, no. So I was a chartered accountant for 15 years. So I was very much like, do that, be the good girl, go and get the good grades, go and get a good career, and you'll be set for life, Sarah. So I ticked all those things off the box. And I looked around. I remember so vividly looking around at that office, and I was like, is this it? Like, seriously, there has got to be more to life than this. There are people arguing over spreadsheets, over deadlines, over doing budgets and forecasting. And I literally looked at these people. I mean, they're good people, right? But I just thought, I cannot do this for another 40 years. What, to hit retirement and then have the best years of my life gone past, and now looking back and thinking, God, I wish I could have done more with that. So I always had this kind of niggle around manifestation. I loved the idea that we get to co-create with the universe, that what we see is not necessarily the reality, and we have got so many other things that we have got available to us, but of course nobody wants us to know about these things. So I was a little bit of a closet reader, podcaster. I mean, my other half, Chris, at the time, he thought, I've lost the plot. I was like, no, I mean, we can manifest whatever we want. He's like, okay, hon, you just go and do you. But I had, like, these random crystals that I just put under his bed. It's going to help you sleep better, love. I'd have citrine in the corner because it brings abundance. And, it was those little things, those little niggles. I think it just started with, there's got to be more to life than this. And it kind of progressed, I think, from there, to be honest.
I love that. You talk about helping women to uncover what is uncopyable about them, which
Yeah.
I absolutely love. But how do you actually define that? Like, what does that even mean?
So what that actually means is, what I've noticed with a lot of my clients and a lot of my students is that they are leading with, I am a Reiki attuned master. I am an EFT practitioner. I do breath work. Oh, and I also do activations, and I can also channel this, and I am a qualified. And it's like a, what do they call them? Like a smorgasbord, like a pick and mix, right? Of all these different certifications and qualifications. And I'm like, that's great, but what do you actually do? Because everyone who's leading with the tool, this is where competition and comparison still happens, right? Because I mean, how many other Reiki practitioners are there in the planet? Hundreds of thousands of people, right? So then you're starting to look at, well, she's been doing it longer than me, so I'm going to charge £55 because she charges £77. She's posting this, but I can't do it that way. So I've got to, I'm just going to keep quiet because I don't want to look like I'm copying. Whereas actually, what I do with my clients, I'm like, right, when you get your clients on a session, what is it that you do that nobody taught you how to do? What is it that you then start to notice? Do you have this ability to just walk into that room and know that their words and their feelings aren't matching? So, what they're saying to you versus the energy of them, you're like, something's not going on here. I've got to ask this question. Maybe you have the gift of intuitively just knowing this question coming in, like, I've got to ask you this. Like, what is actually going on right now? Like, you assume that everyone has got that gift and they don't. You've normalized the hell out of that, and that is what people are going to pay you a premium for. If I've got, say, an accountant who has qualified CIMA, AAT, all the lovely stuff, right? Great. You can have Carol, she's an accountant. Or could I have an accountant that can also channel your next aligned product and tell you the exact price point in a matter of seconds, can see the bridge between your business? Like, actually, have you thought about that? I'm going to pay that one who is owning the things that she is so gifted at that no one actually taught her how to do. So this is where we then start to lean into, you have got these threads of this brilliance and this magic. Like, maybe you have the ability to just have people come up to you and tell you their whole life story, and they're like, oh my God, I've never told anyone that in my whole life. That's because you're a safe space. That's because they feel at ease with you. No one taught you how to do that. It's a natural gift. One of my friends, she has got the ability to really create a moment for people. So when they walk into her retreats, instantly the energy is like, oh my God, you did this for me. I feel so held and so loved. Thank you. Some people have the ability to intuitively just know exactly what crystal somebody needs and turn it into a piece of jewelry. Like, one of my other clients does that. She's like, your superpower is XYZ. Your higher self has given me this crystal. Bing, bang, bong. Here's the ring. Wear that as your superpower. Like, what? Okay. So this is what we're then starting to lean on.
Yeah. And I love how you talked about how we almost downplay our gifts because we don't even know they're there because they're so intuitive for us as individuals that you just assume everybody else can do it, don't you?
Yeah, exactly that. One of my friends, we went to, well, we manifest when I was there for the day, and her partner, these animals were just coming up to her. She's like, oh yeah, it's just what she does. The animals are just so attracted to her. And I'm like, has she ever owned that? Because I would rather have my pet or my animal being looked after by, a woman, a beautiful soul who is just a natural attractor for animals. And she's like, oh my God, I hadn't ever thought about that before. You love animals, right? You do Reiki. Why don't you just do Reiki with animals and look after them for the day? Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. It's those kind of things. We assume that our business, not always, but sometimes it's got to be hard and it's got to be, oh, I've got to follow the rules of these certifications and qualifications. And I'm like, where's you? Where's you? Where's your fun side? Or where's your sense of humor? Or where's your nurturing side? And those threads, when we extract those, the things that you've normalized and the things you've suppressed, by the way, because there are certain things you're like, I can't say that I channel galactic beings. They're going to think I've gone crazy. I can't say that I can see Archangel Michael in my back garden. Like, do you know what I mean? So there are suppressed ones as well that I also help my clients start to look at. Well, why have you suppressed it? Let's clear the energy and the block around the fear of being rejected, the fear of judgment, not being good enough. Who am I to say that I can do X, Y, Z? We clear that. You own all of you. Oh my God, it is just a whole bag of fun.
One thing you touched on briefly there, and I think this is really nice how it brings in your accountancy background as well, is when we talk about making money in business, particularly with these kinds of people, and this is something I notice a lot with intuitives, with healers, with spiritual leaders, is charging feels uncomfortable. I'd
Mm.
love to know your take on why you think that is, because I know everyone kind of has a different idea on why that is.
Do you know what? There's probably a couple of different threads to this answer as well. So the first one would be that we are brought up in a society where you get paid by the hour. So everything is someone, you go to a job, this CEO decides how much your time, your energy, your expertise is worth, and somebody else is placing that price on you. So you're like, okay, that's how much my time is worth, £22 an hour. So I'm just going to do my job and I'm going to do what I'm told and I'm going to build someone else's dream based on somebody. It takes the power away from you, right?
Mm.
Somebody else has put that price on you. You have to accept it. You get paid and life goes on. But when it actually comes to, I'm going to have to put a price on my own time, I can't look at somebody else and say, just tell me how much I should charge. Like this is you. And this is, sometimes I think at the start when you're transitioning from the price per hour to actually we don't have to charge price per hour anymore. It is price per bundle, package, course, program, certification. That's when people start to go, okay, well, I'll do a few for free. Because I don't think I deserve that. There's underlying beliefs beneath this. So of course you've got the price per hour, but there may also be, which I love doing work on, the ancestral stuff, the things that have come through the generational line. If you've got a great grandma who was the stay-at-home mum who did all of the cooking and the cleaning while the husband goes out to work, and we're now coming into this society where we want to be the powerhouse or the breadwinner or have loads of abundance of money, and no one before you has done it. That's a lot of pattern breaking.
Yeah.
There is a lot here. No, I've never seen an entrepreneur in any of my family. Every single woman has left a good career when they got pregnant. They then had their baby. They then either went to work in a school, work in a nursery, work in the kitchens of a preschool, right? To work around the child. So here comes Sarah. It's been a white knuckle ride, and I'm not going to say it's easy, but there has been a load of conditioning that I've had to reprogram energetically, emotionally, physically, through the generational line. There's also past lives, which is also a yummy conversation to have. And I know some listeners may or may not believe in that, but there is also the energetics around charging for spiritual work, for energy work. Or if it's a natural gift, shouldn't you just do it for free? Should I? No,
Yeah.
no, because actually, these are things that are going to really enhance and accelerate your life and your experience. So yeah, there's many different strands to that, but yeah, it's definitely things that can be changed.
Yeah. And I love that. And it's so important because a lot of the work, I mean, I've witnessed it firsthand myself with healing from chronic pain and past life trauma and all of these kinds of things. I think so many of these incredible people they are literally changing lives on a daily basis. And yet when it comes to putting a figure next to it, like charging for it, putting monetary value to that thing, it feels uncomfortable. And when you think about the grand scheme of things, if you were going down the route of having some private healthcare, you're going to pay a premium for it.
Yeah.
And yet, because it's something you can't necessarily see, it's not like a tangible thing that you can see. It feels so much harder to put a monetary value against it, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that I did that I wish I hadn't done was listened firstly to somebody else saying, Sarah, you are the expert in this thing and you must charge, I don't know, £333 per session. Right. Oh, my nervous system wasn't able to hold that.
Yeah.
So I didn't talk about it. I then hid from it. So what I would always encourage my clients to do now, I say to them, what feels good for you? We'll do maybe 5 or 10 at that price. And then you've got the capacity to expand up. Your nervous system has got to be able to hold it. If I'm saying to you, right, do you know what, Jackie, your next program, you've got to charge £20,000. I mean, it's possible, it's doable, right? But there is going to be some work for you to be able to have the capacity to hold that. So
Yeah.
I would always lead with, my first sessions were £35 for the first 10, then it went up to 55, then it was 77, then it went 111. So, and that was over time. But yeah, rookie mistake, doing too many for free, it's exhausting.
Before we dive back into today's episode, I wanted to invite you to something really special. If you are a spiritually awake leader, a healer, a mentor, a coach, or visionary who knows that you are here to create real impact, I would love to invite you to my Light Leaders 2026 event. This is a one-day in-person experience in the beautiful Cotswolds on Tuesday, the 6th of October. And this is all about bringing together heart-led leaders who are ready to share their message, their magic, and their impact that they're here to make. This isn't just another business event. This is a room full of people who truly get this work. It is a space to connect, to grow, to step into your next level of visibility and leadership. And I'm really excited to welcome that Amanda O, as our official brand partner, will be there with me on the day. Amanda helps experts to turn speaking opportunities into real business opportunities, making her the perfect partner for a room full of leaders who are ready to use their voice and be seen. If you are feeling the pull to be in the room or to find out more, you can find all the details and the ticket link in the show notes. I would love to welcome you. Now let's get back to the episode. One thing I know that we are both really passionate about is helping people to realize they don't need to become somebody else in order to build a successful business. So for every single person that is listening to this today, have you fully owned the thing that makes you different? I know this is the work that Sarah does. I know I kind of support with this as well, but what do you think could change in someone's life that is maybe listening to this, Sarah, that is just not fully owning their true magic?
I think one of the biggest things that I had to do in June, actually last month, was come away from social media and come back to me. Because what I was doing prior to that, and I know that you may have done the same, is go to all the events, make sure I'm in every single room, make sure that I've invested in all the courses, make sure that I'm doing someone else's blueprint. And I did all these things. And then I'm getting frustrated that, nothing's coming of it. But actually, that was never meant to be my design in the first place. So in June, I was like, right, do you know what? I'm coming off socials for, a good 10 days. And I sat with my pen and paper and I'm like, what does Sarah love? Like, I'd become so ungrateful actually for the life that we've got. Only 4 years ago, we had a top floor flat, no garden. And I'd just dismissed all of the fact we've got a house now because I'm like I'm chasing for the next bracket, the next paid thing, the next course. And I need to learn AI, but I also need to have an upsell, but I need to have a freebie, but I need to have a newsletter on TikTok or whatever it is, LinkedIn. Like, it's exhausting. And you're constantly outsourcing all of your magic and your energy to other people's work because they promise you the world. And I'm sure they're incredible at what they do. But you got to come back to you, that pause and that rest. You can't, when you're constantly chasing, you can't hear yourself. And those ideas that are so uniquely yours, they're screaming to come out. But if you're constantly pushing them down because you're trying to learn X, Y, Z, you can't hear them, therefore you can't birth them.
Yeah.
So having that pause, I mean, you have to, what is it? You have to slow down to speed up.
Yeah.
That pause, that 10 days, oh my God, so much came through. I sacked off the things that I didn't even want to do anymore. I looked at the events that I did want to go, maybe 2 next year, that's it, at Jackie's, of course. But, and I really got intentional with my time and my energy and my focus. So that's what I would do. Take a minute, take a
Yeah.
breath, get out in nature, go to the sea, have a minute in your garden, just come back to you, because sometimes we just forget that actually we've already got it.
Yeah. I recorded an episode on this recently, actually, and I was talking about the power in slowing down. And it's so funny because when you're in that mode of, and I know pretty certain everyone listening to this episode will have been through that moment where, but you just need that next client. And it's coming from that place of lack and desperation. But actually, the act of slowing down in itself, what it opens up is so much more magic. And it's logically, it makes no sense. You're not going to be able to get that client if you're not doing anything. But actually, in the not doing anything and allowing that space for the downloads to come in, for you to journal, to be at peace, to express my brain is not working, to appreciate with gratitude the things that you have, opportunities do open up. They always do. And it might not be right there and then, but they will start to come towards you. You'll magnetize those things. But I think it's such an alien concept, isn't it, for those that maybe haven't slowed down before, to think, okay, maybe just start with 5 minutes, like 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be like having the 10 days off social media. I know myself, when I had a break from social media, it always creates so much transformation for me personally. And I know you've obviously had the same.
Yeah, it's huge. And I think I'd started to really notice the negative impact it was having on my family. So I was trying to, do all these things and implement all these things and create all these things. And then the children would be sent home. I mean, July, for example, they were sent home loads because it was too hot.
Yeah.
So then I started to get resentful because I'm like, Mummy's got to do this business, and I'm going to be behind. And I thought, actually, Sarah, the reason you're doing this is so you can be there for your children. And I'd lost in June the ability to even find joy in watching them play
Mm,
because I'm so externally focused on all these other benchmarks and milestones that actually, when it really comes to it, if they're going to come, they're going to come. But I don't ever want them to be at the detriment of my children.
yeah.
Me transitioning from being a chartered accountant and exhausted, burnt out, I'm still then showing them the same, but just in a different body. Like that's wild, right? And I always wanted them to, if I say to them, you can be or do anything you want, I never wanted them to say, well, mummy, why didn't you? But equally, I'm still teaching them that burnout leads to success.
Mm,
So I haven't broken that pattern yet because I'm
yeah.
still finding a way to fulfill it in my own business rather than being employed.
Yeah, it's so true. I did a post on this on Facebook the other day about how I've quit the entrepreneurial rat race. And I think it's so funny because it almost gets to a point where you have been in that hustle mode. You have been constantly outsourcing, investing, doing the course, working with the coach, going to the events, doing all of those things. And you actually realize this is no different to working in a 9 to 5. In fact, sometimes it can even be worse because you're working longer hours than you did in a 9 to 5 and you never mentally switch off. And I think for so many people, they're coming to that realization now that actually, like, there isn't a race, there's no set rules, there's no deadline, there's no goal. The goalposts are constantly moving anyway. And I think if we're actually allowing ourselves more joy, spaciousness, and flow, like, we get to have fun in our business, don't we?
Yeah, and you become a natural magnet for it
Yeah.
anyway, right? The more that you become that, the more you of that you attract. And again, it was like recently, even this morning, I've had to come right back to basics because again, I was going too high level. I'm like, the basics are have a 10-minute meditation in the morning. And I feel so different today. I can't even tell you. Have that 15 minutes, go downstairs, just have, a few deep breaths. Like, when did I forget that actually mattered? Well, because I'm coming straight onto my phone the minute I wake up to see who's liked my post, and oh my God, I need to do my morning. Like that is, oh, I think people are waking up so much more to the fact that slow and steady really does win. It's
Yeah.
not even a race, is it? But you know what I mean.
Yeah. I just want to also say one thing you shared on Facebook recently, and I know that from what you've just said about how you're doing it for your children, you wanted to be there and be fully present. You were at an event recently, weren't you? And you actually left early.
Yes. So I went to Womanifest, incredible event, and I had prior, probably January, February time, invested a lot of money to sponsor the Energy Pod. I had invested to have my own stand there. I had also invested to speak twice at the event. And the Saturday came, and I honestly, Jackie, was so repelled by not because of the event, but energetically. I was like, I don't want to speak to anybody. I've got this stand there with my banners up and my crystal hearts all out. And, I was talking to people about how they can use the muscle test in and find out their deepest manifestation block. And I said to one of my friends, like, I don't want to talk to anyone. I do not want to talk to anyone. And it was actually Marina. She said to me in the afternoon, she's like, Sarah, you're not yourself. Ah, oh, don't cry. She said, are you sad? And I'm like, no, I'm fine. And as I took that back home with me, and what I didn't mention to anybody at all was that 6 weeks prior to that, we'd been told that my daughter's show that she had been rehearsing weekly, long weekends in the evenings was actually going to be on the Sunday of We Manifest. So as I sat with that, I really did realize that Marina's question was so powerful because I was sad. And I was trying to pretend that I was okay and trying to force myself to think, do you know what? I've invested, leading with the head, I've invested so much to be here. I've got to get a return on investment. We're always told, where's your KPIs? Where's your QR codes? And I messaged one of my mentors and she's like, Sarah, just go home. Oh, and it was like, again, I needed that permission. And I reached out to a manifest and I said, I'm sorry, I'm not coming back. And I picked up all my stuff on the Sunday and I cut my losses, quote unquote, but it wasn't really because the return on investment was being in that audience. When I came back and she did her show, she said, Mummy, I had my fingers crossed behind my back that when the curtains would open, you'd be there. And I just kept replaying that because I thought, if I wasn't there, as we know with the work that we do, what would that have then meant for her
Yeah.
going forward? The implications of that one choice could have changed the complete trajectory of her feeling good enough, loved, safe, worthy. And the return on investment will forever be the fact that I was able to be there. You can't put a price
I've
on
got
that.
goosebumps.
I know. So sorry, Will Manifest, but not sorry. It had to be done. It was something that the head and the heart were arguing so much because, again, coming back to the business conditioning of you've got to be there. How many email addresses did you get? How many signups have you had? And actually, I should have listened to my intuition that morning because I didn't want to speak to anyone. I didn't want to even give eye contact. I was at my stand for probably 45 minutes of the whole 7 hours. Like, that's wild. So,
Yeah.
and that's what we do it for, right?
It is. And I think even you telling that story now, how many people is that going to impact and show? You've almost then given permission for other people that are choosing to push forward and put on a happy face when actually they're just not feeling it. Like, we always get to say no, don't we? We always get to follow our hearts and lead with our integrity.
Yeah. And sometimes we forget that we are our own CEO. Like, we're the boss. We get to
Yeah.
decide. We're the director. If we don't want to be there, you get to go.
Yeah.
You don't have to sit through the boring board meetings or, the events that you're like, do you know what? I just don't think this is for me. You get to get up and you get to go home.
Yeah. So true. What would you like to leave this episode with? Is there one tip, one piece of advice that you would love to leave anybody that is listening?
Do you know what? I think the one thing that I'm starting to see now is that so many of you beautiful souls are really starting to either awaken into there's got to be more to life than this, or are starting to go, do you know what? My business, like, I'm so ready now for it to make an impact and make a difference. If you're feeling, even through Jackie's work or any of the podcasts, and you're feeling that little spark, like mine literally started with a seed planted. I saw a manifestation coach online, 7 years ago, and I was like, oh my God, you get paid to do that? That's cool. So, and that was the start. That was the spark. That was the seed. And even if there is a tiny little spark in you that just knows that you're meant for more and you're looking around now thinking there's got to be more to life than this, follow that seed because I truly believe that that has been planted in you for a reason. And it may take you off a completely different path that you didn't expect, but just trust it, lean into it. Like, you are 1 in 8 billion. Like, there's sorry to bore you with a statistic, but I heard a number that blew my mind that even 10 generations back from you, 1,024 individual separate people had to meet at that exact time to co-create at that exact moment to then come down again and again for you to be here today. 1,024 people.
That's
20
crazy.
generations back is over 1 million individual people. If it was 1 month difference, you wouldn't be here. If that one sliding door moment of they didn't get that job and they got a job somewhere else and they didn't meet their partner, you wouldn't be here. So this now is your time. All your ancestors that couldn't do it, they're cheering you on. They know that you're the one that is going to break the patterns, break the mold, do something different, make an impact in this world. And that seed, maybe you'll have to reach out to Jackie or someone else. You're like, I've got this idea. Can you help me? Like, there is always support from
Yeah.
good humans, right? You don't have to figure it out by yourself. But that seed, however crazy you think it is, like, share it, talk about it to somebody, because that seed could turn into an oak tree and could really change your life and many lives across the world.
Yeah. And for anyone that is listening to this that maybe isn't even an entrepreneur yet, maybe you're someone that is in that job, you're in that accountancy job, like whatever it is, you're looking out the window just thinking there must be more. Please know that there are so many people, communities, free Facebook groups, everything out there to give you support, to guide you on that journey and to show you what is possible. Other people that are in the same position, people that have turned their lives around. There is so much, because before you've even got into this world, you don't even know where to go. There doesn't feel like there's any support out there or anywhere where you can get your questions answered, but just know that there is. So please do reach out to anyone that you connect with online, whether it is myself, Sarah, or anybody else you come across, because there will be places you can go for completely free advice just to start following those nudges.
Absolutely.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show today, Sarah. Where is the best place to find you and connect with you online?
I am over on Facebook, so Sarah Braysher, Braysher, or over on Instagram as well.
Amazing. I'll pop those links in the show notes below. If you've enjoyed this episode, please do share it with anybody that needs to hear this today. And please do leave a review. Make sure you go and check out Sarah online and give us a follow. And I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you so much. See you
Bye,
soon.
guys.